Welcome to Computer and Digital Literacy course. This one, it is actually part 3, and in this part we were talking about search engines. Site, you type the word site, full colon, like that, and then you say bbc.com in order for you to get the information like that, and then you hit enter. That is also another way of searching. Google Workspace. This is now on the cloud. All right, it is on the cloud, not in your computer. This is now a software on the cloud. You access it using your web browser. All right, this is now on the cloud. It is not a desktop application in my computer, and this one, it is actually a desktop application in my computer. Note the difference. And then let me open Google Docs. Google Docs, you go in your account like this, and then here, or you can search on the internet here, or you can just hover here on apps on your Google Docs, and you see Docs. You click there, and then it will bring you on this page. After bringing you on this page, you see here blank document. You click here. All right. After clicking, it will open now a Google Docs interface. It is online based. Now it is online. This is actually Google Docs interface. And also we talk about word processing, both Google Docs and Microsoft Office software. In order for you to do something like formatting the text, you need to select the text. You click and drag on the document or the sentence you want to actually do, and then you can do. For example, let me make it italic. Italic, it is here, I or Control I. You click like that. And then you have underline. Underline, it is here. You can click underline. In the underline, it is just to put a line below the text. You hit underline. And then you have font. Font. The default font here, it is Calibri. Now, if you click on this drop down menu with your mouse like this, you can change now the font. You can change the font to Times New Roman. You can change the terms to Algerian. You can change the font to Arial Black, everything. For example, I can change to Arial Rounded MT Bold, and then all these fonts you can change to a specific font you want. For example, I can put it at Algerian, like that. First, we are starting with module 1, where we are talking about search engines. We begin by what is a search engine, definition, example, for example, Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, and then we'll go to how search engine work. We'll talk about crawling, indexing, ranking algorithms. And also we move to part 3, where we'll be talking about basic and advanced search techniques, where we'll be using keyword effectively. Search operators, for example, cite, entitled, quote for each exact match. And we'll actually talk about the difference between browsers and search engines. And also we'll talk about safe searching tips online. For example, filtering content, avoiding misinformation and scams. And let's start with lesson 1. What is a search engine? A search engine is a software system designed to carry out web searches, right? It helps users find information on the internet by entering keywords or phrases. The search engine scans its index and returns the most relevant results. That is actually a search engine. Search engine is actually a software system designed to carry out web searches. All right. It helps users find information on the internet by entering keywords or phrases. It's just a software also. You key the thing you want to do, and also it as a search engine system, it will actually search for you and bring the result to you. That is actually a search engine. Example for search engine, for example, Google, most widely used. That is actually Google. All right. And you have Bing, developed by Microsoft company. You have Yahoo, older, still used for news and email. Then you have DuckDuckGo, focused on privacy and doesn't track users. That is DuckDuckGo, right? I actually know Google and Bing. DuckDuckGo, those search engines are many, right? You can't use all. So, here's a question for you. You can actually answer. How search engines works. search engines use three main steps to provide results. The first one, it is actually crawling. It actually search engine bots scan websites across the internet. These search engines, for example Google, they have crawling bots. These bots, when you search something online, these bots go on those websites and actually scan websites and across the internet and get information that you want, and it bring back to you. After crawling, it actually now indexing information from scanned site is stored and organized. It index, now it gets the information, then it stores, and then it indexing to arrange it very well. And now the third thing it does is actually ranking algorithm determines which pages are most relevant based on user search and present them in order. Now it do some analysis which information is best determined to you, and it actually bring them in order for you to actually see. This entire process ensures get fast and relevant information for their queries. That is actually how search engine works. For example, Google. This is actually how search engine works. Crawling, they have bots. Indexing, it now arranges the information, and then ranking, it determines which information suits you as the searcher, right? Then here's a question for you. Now, basic and advanced search techniques. Using search engine effectively means knowing how to refine searches. Basic techniques, you have type specific keywords. For example, weather today or how to bake a cake. That is actually basic search, basic technique of searching. Let me show you practically. Let me open Google Chrome. This is actually a search engine. You lost one tab. This is actually Google Chrome. Let me minimize a little bit for you to see, and minimize this Windows also. So, for example, you can search how to bake a cake. That is actually doing a search. How to bake a cake. Like that, and hit enter. That's the way you give. Now you do see the millisecond it does. It actually does this search as fast as possible in order for you to actually get the feedback as fast as possible. For example, simple white cake recipe, it will give you the recipe. All these are search engine, and they are actually suggested for you for videos that you can actually watch. All this, how to make a cake at home, all this, it is actually searching. All right. And then we have advanced techniques. For example, you can use quotes and search for exact phrase. You can use quote, for example, a quote and search a specific thing you want. For example, I can search cake like that, or cake recipe, exact name recipe, and you get the correct. These are actually search techniques you can use. White cake recipe, you see that one, it have already pop up the first on the ranking. Very nice best cake, you see. That is actually, you get cake recipe. You see, this is the keyword, cake recipe. It is the one that you are looking for. Use the exact phrase, and then you can search with the site. Search within a specific site. For example, site and then bbc.com for news. You can actually search like this. Site, you type the word site, like that, and then you say bbc.com in order for you to get the information like that, and then you hit enter. That is also another way of searching, bbc.com, and you do like this. You have breaking news, world news, US news, all this, you get to search that way. That's what all techniques you use to search. Then you have in titles, you can search for keywords in the page title. That one is the commonly used, the in title. In title, search anything. For example, you can search something like search techniques. That is actually in title. Search techniques. links. That's the way you do this searches. It's just the matter of creativity, and you get to your result like that. And the search engine is very accurate. If you type something wrong, for example, I have typed without an R, it actually autocorrect for you. It is very intelligent. Nowadays, it is integrated with AI. For example, this is Google AI overview, right? This is just an AI overview, and it is actually almost accurate between 90%. That's why I'm saying AI is here also to help you, because it summarizes for you information. For example, here, keyword search, define the search time uses synonyms, and then you can be specific. All this is information that is contained for you with the AI, right? That's the way you get to actually search using your search engine, like Google. Now, welcome back. This is actually lesson 4, the difference between browsers and search engine. It is important to understand these are not the same. Our browser, for example, Google Chrome or Firefox, it's a tool to access website. Chrome is just an application, a browser, application browser that actually enable you to access websites. They don't have a search engine, for example, Google or Bing. It's a tool to find content online, a tool, a system software tool to find content online. For example, use Chrome browser to go to google.com. That is actually search engine. Chrome browser uses google.com, www.google.com, and type a question. That is actually the difference between a browser and a search engine. Browser is actually a software. Search engine, browser is actually a software. Search engine is a tool, all right, that enable you to find information online. Now, let's talk about safe searching tips. You need to know how to actually safe search online very well. Search engines are powerful, but it is important to search safely. Use filters. Set safe search to block adult or inappropriate content. Set safe search to block adult or inappropriate content in your browser. You can actually check source credibility. Look for well-known trusted sites. If you see a website that will have HTTP, that is not a safe site. It must be having HTTPS, right? Avoid clicking on suspicious ads or unfamiliar links online. Avoid it. And then fact check. Compare multiple sources to avoid fake news and misinformation. That is actually fact check. Self searching is very important. Consider this guide I have provided for you. Use safe filters, check source credibility, and actually avoid clicking on suspicious links or ads, and then fact check information to avoid misinformation. Here's a practical question for you. You can actually answer and actually support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and putting a comment on the comment section. That's the only way you can actually support the channel. Subscribe, share to your friends for them to actually have the basic understanding of digital and computer literacy. Alright, thank you, and let's move on. Next, we are going to talk about introduction to Office productivity tools. We will start with what is Microsoft Office Suite, and then we will go ahead to what is Google Workspace, and also talk about key differences and similarities between these two types of softwares. And we will also go ahead to module 4, lesson 4, where we'll be talking about creating Microsoft account and Google account. And we'll conclude the module 2 with cloud storage overview, OneDrive versus Google Drive. Alright, let's go. First, we'll start with what is Microsoft Office Suite. Microsoft Office Suite is a collection of desktop productivity applications developed by Microsoft. It typically includes, we have Microsoft Word. This one it is for word processing. We have Microsoft Excel, this one is spreadsheets. Then we have Microsoft PowerPoint, this one it is presentation software. And then we have Microsoft Outlook, email and calendar. And then we have Microsoft OneNote for note taking. And we have many softwares on that suite. For example, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Desktop Publisher, all those are under Microsoft Office suite. We have many software under that Office productivity suite. Then we will go, what is Microsoft Office Suite? This application helps users actually create, edit, manage, and actually share various types of documents. You can share Office. Office is available in both traditional desktop software, Office 2019, and cloud-based subscription of Microsoft 365. They have a desktop application and then they have cloud-based software that you actually subscribe to. Now, what is Google Workspace? Google Workspace, formerly known as G Suite, is cloud-based suite of productivity and collaboration tools developed by Google. It includes software like Google Docs. This one it is for word processing. You have another one called Google Sheets for spreadsheets, and then you have Google Slide for presentation, and then you have Gmail for email, and many software under that Google Workspace. We have many software. These are just to mention a few. And then we have Google Drive for file storage, and then we have Google Meet and Chat for communication. It is a communication tool accessible via a web browser and sync across devices. It enables real-time collaboration and is widely used in education and business settings. That is actually Google Workspace suite softwares. Now, let's talk about key differences and similarities of these two software. Both suites offer word processing, spreadsheets, and presentation tools. Cloud storage is integrated, OneDrive for Microsoft, Google Drive for Google. Collaboration features are available for those softwares. That is actually similarities. They have a similar function. That is why it is called similarities. Key differences now, we'll talk about the difference about Microsoft Office and Google Workspace. Access mode, feature of access mode. Microsoft Office, you can access it with your desktop or web software. That is actual access mode. Then Google Workspace software, you access it is a cloud-based or a web. You actually access it online. Then you have file formats. Microsoft Office support Word document, Excel document, presentation document, and then Google Workspace support the Google native and plus Office formats. Office format, this one that I have mentioned here about the presentation one, all those also called the file formats. Then we have real-time collaboration limited in Office desktop. Office desktop mainly software. Real-time collaboration, it is limited. Then real-time collaboration in Google Workspace is full in Google Workspace. You are not limited. Then offline access, full desktop offline access, and then Google Workspace offline mode via browsers only. That one it does not support offline. That is actually Google Workspace. You need internet connection. Now, let's talk about creating a Microsoft account and Google account. In order for you to actually use these softwares, you need to have accounts. All right. Creating accounts enable access to services and tools provided by Microsoft and Google. Microsoft account. Visit this website signup.live.com, provide email, phone, or create a new email. And then you can follow prompts to verify and set up your account. That is how to actually create a Microsoft account. Let me show you practically. I will copy this link, signuplive.com. You copy it and go into your web browsers. We have been talking about search engine and web browsers. That was why important of coming to this lesson. You have now found it. This is now our web browser. You just paste that URL like that and you actually hit enter, right? It will bring you on this page, and on the left here it says sign in. You will click here, all right, and it will bring you on this new page here, where now you will create your Microsoft account. You can sign in with different account, or you can just you can actually create a new account. If you want to create a new account, you can click here, sign with a different Microsoft account, or you can continue. For example, I have my Microsoft account. I can continue with my Microsoft account, or I can sign in with another email, or sign in with another email, or sign in with anything. You just visit this website and actually provide your information. All right. Or if you have visited this website here, now instead of me creating account, or you can sign with a different account like this. You say after clicking sign with a different account, it will bring you on this menu here. Now on this one, you can input your details and actually go next. Or if you don't have account, you can click create account down here. All right, and then it will bring you on this page. To create a new account, create your Microsoft account, enter your email address. For example, you can enter any email. For example, your Google account email, or any email you are using. For example, some example at gmail.com. You can enter that email here, and then you can actually go ahead and sign in. It is very smooth process. Huh? That is the way you actually sign in Microsoft account. Let me log in my account and show you the way it looks. I go to my account now and click there, and actually I just type my account, enter your email or phone number. My account, it is myspace at outlook.com, like that, and then I will hit next, and then I will input a password, and I will click just next. Here it will ask you to first sign in with your face or fingerprint. This one, don't worry, you just keep it for now, because you're signing in a desktop computer. You just keep it. You sign in now. Until there, now you have created your account, your Microsoft account. Now you can go to Microsoft 365, Microsoft Office 365 to actually access this software. I've told you this is Microsoft 365. And then you can sign in with your Microsoft account. Huh? You sign in with your Microsoft account that you have created with Microsoft. It is a very serious process. You need actually to read the way it provides you instruction before you actually log in and sign in. Now it will welcome you. Welcome to Microsoft 365. You will go into this website, Microsoft 365, and it will bring you to this page that will say create, organize, collaborate in one place for free with Microsoft 365. Press safely everything. This is just a promotion for you to actually see, and then you are using the free version of Microsoft 365. Here is the premium benefit you can get. You can see plan and everything, and actually you can confirm here and actually done. Welcome to Microsoft Pro. This one is actually a free plan that you use in your Microsoft account. Here now you get to actually access Microsoft accounts in a web browser. But you can actually install apps. You click here on the tab here, and actually install application. The application are premium. You see, go premium with Microsoft 365 to install the latest premium apps on your PC. These are premium softwares. But I have installed the software now, and I will use this cloud-based software. I'll be using my desktop application I have installed in my computer. All right. Now, let's go back to the presentation and show you another thing. That is how to actually creating a Microsoft account, and actually let's go to actually creating a Google account. Creating a Google account, you need actually to visit google.com.signup actually to create a new account with Google. Enter your personal information and create credentials. And we can actually verify the account with your phone number and accept terms and conditions. These accounts unlock access to tools like OneDrive, Google Drive, and OneDrive, Gmail, and then Google Doc, etc. These two accounts, the Microsoft account and Google account, enable you to actually access OneDrive, Gmail, Google Docs, etc. That is actually the importance of actually creating this account. Let me show you. You need to visit google.com.signup. You copy this URL and then you come it and paste in your web browser. I will provide this cheat sheet notes. Don't worry about it. You will have it. Now you paste it here on Google and then you hit enter. It will bring you here, but this is an error. Don't worry. You can just search Google account here on Google. Instead of that URL, you can search Google account, and then it will bring you to a sign up page. You hit enter. The first URL, Google account sign in, and then you will actually go ahead and sign up with your account. You click here. It will bring you, if you have account in your computer or in your phone, it will bring you here. In order for you to actually sign, you click on the existing account, in your web browser or on your phone, and then you scroll next down, and you can click add another account. In order for you to actually add another account, it will now bring you on this page, and you can actually add another account. And at this one, now you can actually start signing up with you can actually create a new account or log in your account that you are already existing. You can actually create account. For example, you can create for personal use, for my child, for work or business, or my business. That's the way. So I can create for my personal use like this. You click like that, and then you can enter your first name, last name, and then you click next. For example, I can say Alex, and then I can say my last name is Swangila, then you click next. Then you can enter your date of birth and the gender, and then you click next. After entering your credential, your date, and actually your gender, it will bring you on this page where it will say how you will sign in. Create a Gmail address for signing in to your Google account. Now here you put your Gmail. For example, you're going to say example@gmail.com, or example your first name at gmail.com, example your last name at gmail.com, example of two, your first name and last name at gmail.com, and then you click next. After clicking next, you will actually agree terms and conditions and provide your phone number and actually sign in to Google account. That is the way. If you have these two accounts now, you can actually access these productivity tools online. All right. Cloud storage overview. OneDrive versus Google Drive. OneDrive, this one is by Microsoft, and Google Drive by Google, are cloud storage services allowing users to store, sync, and share files online. The features: free storage provided by OneDrive, it is actually 5 GB. Google Drive provides 15 GB free. Integration: Microsoft Office apps, and then Google Drive. This one, it is integrated with Google Workspace application apps. Then we have sharing. Sharing OneDrive, yes, with permission. And also Google Drive, you share with permissions. Then singing. Singing, you actually, on OneDrive, it is desktop and mobile support. And then you have Google Drive, it is desktop and mobile support. These services allow access to files from any device, facilitate collaboration, and offer backup option. Let me show you here on your Microsoft Office. As you can see here, the storage, free storage, it is 4 MB use of 5 GB. This is actually the storage. This is my account, my Microsoft account. I hope you have created yours, and that's the way. And this is the limit. This is actually the storage, 5 GB. Let me show you the Google Drive. Google Drive in your account, you click here and then go to Drive. You move over down to storage and you can see the storage, it is 15 GB. I have used 3.07 GB of 15 GB used. That's actually the storage, online one. Those are actually the storage, and many difference I have told you. Alright, that is the storage, 3.07 GB of, that's the way. Now welcome back. Now let's go practical. After creating our account, now we can now go ahead practically on how to actually use these productivity tools. We will start actually by mode. This is actually mode 3. We'll be talking about word processing, both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. We will talk about introduction to Word and Google Docs interface. We will went ahead to actually creating and saving documents, local and actually cloud. We will actually talk about typing, editing, copying, and pasting text. And we will actually talk about formatting text and paragraphs. And we will actually talk about inserting images, tables, links, and shapes. Let's now move on to actually practical using of these softwares. I have here on my desktop, I have Microsoft Office Productivity Tool installed in my computer. For example, what I'm using, this is actually PowerPoint. This is actually a software in my computer. I'm not accessing it on the cloud, but I can also access it on the cloud. So, on Word, we are going to talk about, this is actually lesson 1. We will be talking about introduction to Word and Google Docs interface. Alright, both Microsoft Word and Google Docs offer user-friendly interface for word processing. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Word interface features. This is actually Microsoft Word interface features in my computer. But also, if you are accessing it on the cloud, the way I have told you, you can actually come here on the cloud and actually open a document here. This is actually on the cloud. This is now on the cloud. Alright, it is on the cloud, not in your computer. This is now a software on the cloud. You access it using your web browser. Alright, this is now on the cloud. It is not a desktop application in my computer, and this one, it is actually a desktop application in my computer. Note the difference. And then let me open Google Docs. Google Docs, you go in your account like this, and then here, or you can search on the internet here, or you can just hover here on apps on your Google Docs, and you see Docs. You click there, and then it will bring you on this page. After bringing you on this page, you see here blank document. You click here. Alright, after clicking, it will open now a Google Docs interface. It is online based. Now it is online. This is actually Google Docs interface. Are we together? Have you opened these softwares in your computer? That's the way. Let me close these tabs. Since there are so many. Let me minimize it to have few tabs. That's the way. Now you have this document. This is Google Docs. Let me close these things here a little bit. This is actually a problem of working online. That's the way. You have Google Docs now, and then you have our Microsoft here. Now let's talk about the difference. So I will be using my desktop application in my computer. It is actually the same software in your web browser. Now I will be talking about Microsoft Word interface feature. On the Microsoft Office Word, if you open for the first time, at the top here, from the file, home, insert, design, layout, reference, mailing, review, view, help, about, acrobat. This one, it is called a ribbon with tabs like home, insert, layout, etc. That is actually a ribbon. Then we have a toolbar with formatting option. Toolbar. After the ribbon, we have toolbar. The entire of this down below till here. This is actually a ribbon where my mouse is hovering. This one is a ribbon. Alright, and then we have document area. For example, where this document I'm reading, this is actually called a document area. In my web browser, this one, it is a document area. And then you have document area. I have told you this one is the document area where I'm reading, and then you have the status bar, word count, page number, etc. Word count. Status bar, it is on your left down bottom of your document. Left down bottom of a document. Let me show you. Left down bottom of a document. Word count. For example, here on Google Docs, you can see down left bottom of a document here. This one, page 1 of 10 of 1 or 0 words, haven't typed anything. That is actually a Word document. As you can see, this one is a very clean page that you can actually get to type anything you want, you see, on the internet. Now let's move on. And then you have, that is actually the status bar on the bottom, on the right bottom, for word count, page number. I have told you this one is actually the status bar. And then you have file tab for saving, opening, and exporting file. File tab here. This one is a tab. The entire thing of it, this one is a ribbon. This one is a tab. File tab, home tab, insert tab, design tab, everything. It's a tab. The entire is a ribbon. Don't be confused. Entire thing is a ribbon. Then this single one is a tab. If you click, that's now a file tab where you can actually, it will bring you on the home of the software, and then it will actually go to create new. If you click new, you can actually blank document. You can actually open existing document in your computer or existing document you are working on, and also you can actually save. You can actually save as a Adobe PDF, print, share. This one is actually a home, on the home. I have told you it is actually found on the file tab. If you click on the file tab, it will bring you on this page. Alright, are we together till there? That is actually the difference. Alright, now let me go back. I showed you. That's the way. Now for file tab, for saving, opening, and actually exporting file. Let me show you on the Google here. If you go here on the file on the cloud, you have new, everything almost the same. Share, create a copy, and then you can actually export as PDF, as document with comments, as document as ODT, and actually you can name, visual visibility. All this is under on the cloud. That's the difference. And then let's go to Google Docs. Now this one is actually Google Docs. Let's take a tour a Google Docs interface feature tour. It have a simplify toolbar on top. Simplify that. This one from file, edit, view. This is one. It's actually a toolbar. It has something called real-time editing with collaboration tools. Real-time editing and collaboration tools. Real-time editing are this one. For example, under here, real-time editing, you can actually, this one are real-time editing. If you do something, for example, I can actually select this one by clicking and dragging, and actually you can board. That is actually real-time, right? And collaboration tools. Then you have menu bar. For example, you have file, edit, insert, and etc. This one is a menu bar. Down below, have a toolbar, simplify toolbar, not like on Microsoft Office softwares. And then you have ads on support. Ads on support are here. All these are on the cloud-based software. Then you have document tab, for example, tab 1, everything. Then this one is document window. It's almost the same thing on Microsoft Office Word. It's the same extension, help, everything you can do here. If you click on the document here, you can actually get to go home to your documents, and you can go back like this, or hover back. And actually the feature of Google Docs, it actually auto save your file without you actually saving. All right, that's actually the difference. If you go to file here, hover to file, you can actually make a copy, share. That is actually the real time. You can share with others, publish to a web, and then you can actually email, you can download to your computer, you can rename, you can move, you can actually rearrange in your Google Docs. Everything you can do with this software. It's all about you coming on this software, looking at this interface, understand the way it is, understand the way it look like. Next, I will be actually teaching using Microsoft Office Suite in my computer. Now it will be upon you to actually come here on the cloud base and actually look the things we have been talking, and actually practicing it on Google Docs, and also same thing on actually on Microsoft Office, but on cloud base. Next I will be talking it on the desktop application that I have installed in my computer. I don't want to confuse you. You will be this one. It will be your exercise. You'll be talking. You will be coming and actually checking the difference between these two softwares here online and the offline software installed in your computer. Now, henceforth, I will be using the offline software. All right, this one, and then this one. It is actually online based. Google Docs on Microsoft Office need 365, and then we have 65, and then we have Google Docs on the Google Workspace. That is actually the difference. That is actually the difference between these softwares, but all of them actually accomplish one thing. That is for sure. Accomplish one thing. Now, here is a question number 11 you can actually answer in yourself for actually practicing, and let's move on. Now, let's talk about creating and saving documents, both local and actually cloud. In Microsoft Word, you can actually open Word and click on blank document, and actually you can save locally via file. In order for you to save a file, for example, creating and saving documents. To create a document in a Microsoft Office Word, click on File and then click New. Alright, and then you can click blank. Now you have a new file. This is a new file. Saving it, you go to the same tab, File, and then you click Save. Now you can save in your OneDrive if you are saving it on the cloud, or you can save it locally in your computer. For example, this PC here, and you can save it you can browse on this PC to save it somewhere you want, or you can save on documents, for example, and the file explorer window will pop up, and you can actually rename the document and actually click save like that. Now you have saved this document. That's the way you actually save a document in Microsoft Office Word. It is the same in Google Docs. Go to Google Docs document, and actually you can click blank document, and it will automatically saves in Google Drive. Can also be downloaded via file. You visit the file tab, and then you click download as PDF or document. That is the way. Go and practice that one. And here is a question that you can actually answer on the comment section. Next, let's talk about typing, editing, copy, and pasting text. Basic operation for text editing are essential. For example, typing. Click anywhere in a document and start typing, editing, and everything. That is actually how to actually type. Let me show you. The thing I'm doing is actually selecting the text. You click somewhere, for example here on a text, you click and then you drag like that, and then you can copy this text by Control C, or you can right click your mouse like this and actually you can copy. Now that's the way. Now creating a new document, I have said you go to file and then blank, you have a new document. Now under this new document, I can paste the same document here. You see on the home tab, on the actual left top corner here down below the file tab, we have something called paste. If you click like that, you have pasted the text you actually copied. Now typing, you click anywhere in the document and start typing. I can click somewhere here, and I can, here on the right we have something called the navigation bar. I can navigate like that and I can click here and start typing. For example, I can type digital computer. This is actually computer camp. That's the way. That's the way we type. Like empowering digital skills to all. That's the way you actually get to type in Microsoft Word. It's the same on all those softwares. So that is actually typing. Click anywhere in the document and start typing. Editing, use backspace, delete to remove text. You see here, this is actually a cursor, the one that is blinking here. This one is a cursor. Now you click, for example, here on this text that I have typed to kill all. If I want to delete it, I can actually hit backspace in my key to actually delete each letter by letter. Or you can hit the delete key and delete everything. You actually get to delete a text or remove text. Then copy, cut, paste. Select text, right click or use your keyboard shortcut. Copy. To copy you hit Ctrl C, or if you are using a Mac computer you Command C. To cut you hit Ctrl X or Command X to actually cut. To paste use Ctrl V. Now let me show you practically. To actually copy a text, you can actually select, for example, this text by clicking and dragging. You have selected, you can right click and actually copy. That's the way you have copied the text. Now to paste, you can come down below here or here at the end of this. You need to go to a new line. You hit enter key in your keyboard like that. You have entered into a new line. Now you can right click and actually you can paste. Paste option is here. Now you have pasted the same text. Now to cut is the same thing. You right click and actually cut, right click and then cut. You move that text from where it is located to a new location like this. I can cut like that. You have moved it. To undo the process, you see up here we have something called undo. You can click it and undo the process, or you can Control Z to undo the process. Control Z. Let me type here for you. Control plus Z to actually undo. That's the thing. To redo, you actually use shift to redo. Shift plus that one to actually redo. That's the way. And actually I think copying, you can actually select copying. You can actually just select the text, for example, here, or you can undo. This shortcut also does, or this one they have provided for you. Both platforms support undo and the redo function. You can hit Ctrl Z for undo, and then you have Ctrl plus Y also works. Ctrl plus Y also for redo. So here, for example, copy. You can copy by selecting the text. For example, hit Control or Command C. Control Command C. You have copied, and then cut. Cut. I have told you it is moving the text. You select and then hit Control X. You have cut it, and then you have Control V. If you select this one and paste, you will paste. Control V or Command V. Use enter and then you V. You have pasted. And then you can actually hit Control Z to undo the process, Control Z to undo everything you have done, and then you can do Control Y to redo, Control Y to redo what you have been doing. Are we together till there? Are we together till there? Don't worry, I will provide this cheat sheet in the description or in the comment section. You'll find the cheat sheet that you can actually go through for yourself. All right, don't worry about the notes I will provide. Now let's go back on our document cheat sheet. Now here is a question that you can actually answer, number 13, and let's move on. Now let's talk about formatting text and paragraphs. Formatting text and paragraph. Formatting text and paragraph. Let me select this text. Selecting the text, you actually select, you right click and then you just click and drag to select the text. Let me select this text. I don't want to select the top one. Like that, till there, and then you can hit Control C as you have learned. Control C for copying, master the shortcuts. And then I will come here on the document I have created, document 1, and then I will paste it. Control V to paste. I'm just remembering you. So formatting improve readability and presentation. For example, text formatting, you can format. Let me do something here. Formatting text improve readability and presentation. For example, text formatting: bold, italic, underline, font size, color. That is actually formatting the text. As you can see, the down text here, it is very flabbergasting. It is not understandable. It doesn't look very good. Now, for example, making bold, you select the text like that, and then here at the home tab, down below on the formatting in the tools, you have something called bold. Bold, it makes the text to be darker, alright, to stand out. If you hit bold like that, you have made this text to be bold like this. And then to undo the process, you can do like that. And also you can hit Control B in your keyboard to actually make the text bold. That's the way. And then you have italic. Italic, you select in a word. In order for you to do something like formatting the text, you need to select the text. You click and drag on the document or on the sentence you want to actually do, and then you can do. For example, let me make it italic. Italic, it is here, I or Control I. You click like that. And then you have underline. Underline, it is here. You can click underline. In the underline, it is just to put a line below the text. You hit underline. And then you have font. Font, the default font here, it is Calibri. Now if you click on this drop down menu with your mouse like this, you can change now the font. You can change the font to Times New Roman, you can change the terms to Algerian, you can change the font to Arial Black, everything. For example, I can change to Arial Rounded MT Bold, and then all these fonts you can change to a specific font you want. For example, I can put it at Algerian like that. That's the way you change the font of the text. Then you can change the size. For example, this text that I have underlined, I can select it. You select it like that, and then you can change the size beneath the font family. This one is called the font family. Beneath it, we have another drop down with a number like 11. You drop it, and then I can put like 18. All right, that is actually changing the font size. All right, then you can change the color. The color of formatting improve readability and presentation. Now you can select the text, and I can change the color too. To change the color, do you see here on A with a color beneath it with a drop down here? It say font color. Do you see this tooltip below this? When you hover here, it say font color. Font color. Now you select it, and then you can change the font color. For example, this one, when you hover on the font, it say dark blue text to everything. You can just do like that, and you have changed the font color of the text. Are we together till there? So paragraph formatting, alignment, you have left, center, right, and then you have justify alignment. Let me show you. Paragraph formatting. For example, let me remove this one. To remove it, just backspace, and then I can just actually backspace this one to remove these bullets. I want it to just be a paragraph, so that I can show you something. This is now a simple paragraph. Now, paragraph formatting. Formatting is actually making improve readability of presentation, just to make a document look good. Now I can select it like that, and then I can change the alignment. Alignment is how the text document is arranged in a document. For example, here on paragraph, we have alignment. We have here, when we hover down here, they say aligned left. That this one is left aligned. Then we have center. When you hover it, it says center align. If you click here, you will center align this text. Let me scroll up a little bit. You will center align the text. When you hit on this one, it say left aligned left right. When you click it, it will all sentences will start from right. And then you click, it starts from right. And then you have justified. Justify meaning sentences come from end to end margin of a page. End to end margin of a page. Like that. This one is actually official font, linear alignment, paragraph alignment. End to end of the page. Let me zoom out so that you can see. Do you see the way it looks? My screen is a little bit small. Do you see this paragraph? End to end of the margin of the page. This is margin. Margin is non-printable area of a document. This is actually a margin. And this one is actually a margin, non-printable area of a document. Now, and this one is actually justify alignment. Let me select the text. Justify alignment, it look like that. Right alignment, it look like that. And then we have center alignment, it look like that. And then we have left alignment, it looks like that. That is all about alignment of the text in paragraph formatting. Now, let's talk about line spacing. Line spacing. We have horizontal line spacing and then vertical line spacing. Horizontal line spacing is space between this line. For example, styles between S and T. That is actually, or between T and Y, where my cursor is blinking. That is space. You can control the space beneath that one, the horizontal one, and also you can control the vertical between the space beneath it. That is actually the vertical spacing. Now, in order for you to do anything in a paragraph, you select it first. Note, select every text you want to do or format before doing anything. Now, when you hover here, you see it says line and paragraph spacing. Line and paragraph spacing, if you click it, it is 1.5. If you increase it, for example, 1.15, if you increase, you see the vertical alignment of the line spacing, it is actually increasing. That is actually the vertical alignment of the text. If you put 2, do you see the vertical space between the lines increases? 2.5, do you see? That's the way. 3, do you see? That is now the vertical space. Line spacing is the vertical space between the lines of a document. This one. This is actually the vertical space between the line of a document. Then you have indentation. Pronounce this word where you are now. Pronounce this word indentation. Alright, pronounce this word indentation. Let me undo this process. To undo, do you remember how to undo? Control Z. I see you are forgetting how to undo. Or you can use this arrow on top here to actually undo. Now, let me show you how to indent. Indentation is actually it's actually, for example, if you want this text to be on the right here, you don't want to be on the left, or you don't want to be, you make it just to be on one side, use the indentation. For example, here on this, when I hover around here, it says decrease indent, move your paragraph closer to the margin. You decrease the indentation like this. You click and then you decrease. The mouse, do you see the arrow on the indentation? It points on the left now, and then you have increase indentation. Indentation, it just pushes this text to your right hand. Now, if you click it, it pushes this text to your right hand. That is actually indentation, like that. Now you have indented this paragraph. That is actually a paragraph formatting feature. That is actually indentation. Let me repeat, indentation. That one is so tricky. And then you have something called bullets and numbering. To undo the process you have to do, you just click here, this arrow that points back to actually undo the previous duty you have done in your document. Now let's talk about bullets and numbering. Bullets. For example, on this text, on this document here, this one is bullet, right? So if you select this document like this, you can control the bullets. If you hover here, this one are bullets. You see, bullets. Create a bullet list. Click the arrow to change the look of the bullet. The arrow, this one is called the drop down menu. You click it like that, and you can change the look of the arrow. For example, it is this one. You can change to this. You can change to this. You can change to this. Any. You can change to this. For example, you can click there and change to this. Tick like that. Those are bullets. Huh? We have numbering. You can actually use numbers instead of bullets. If you hover here, it says numbers. Numbering. Create a numbered list. You can click here and click. Now you have numbered list. You can click here and make it like this one. That's also a numbered list. You can make even alphabet. You can make alphabet like this one. You can make this one. You can make this one. Also, you can make that one. That's the way you actually get to make the numbering. All right, are we together till there? Are we together? It is just a small thing. Do you see the way I have condensed this information? I have only talked about text formatting, paragraph formatting. Now you are going to actually use the format painter in Word or paint format in Google Docs to copy style. To copy style, it is called a format painter. To copy style, for example, if you want to copy this style that you have actually applied this formatting, this copy style, you come here on the home tab down here under this ribbon. You see here on this you have pasting. I've shown you how to paste. I've shown you how to cut. I've shown you how to copy. Now I have this thing called format painter. When you hover around it, it is like it looks like a particular section you can apply to another content. Let me give you a secret of actually learning this software. These softwares, they have also a guide on them. If you want to run this software, for example, I have talked about use the format painter in Word or paint format in Google Docs. You try paint format in Google Docs. That is your exercise. Now, if you hover here on format painter, you can actually, if you hover, there is something called tooltip. The text beneath it, when you hover on a tool, that's called a tooltip. It actually gives you more information about the tool you want to apply. For example, it gives you provide how to get started. It have provided you with a list on how to actually get started. FYP, everything. FY, it provides you with notes. That's the way you actually get to understand other things that your instructor is not giving you. Now, to copy it, you just click like that. Now, how to actually use this format painter? After actually hovering on it, you can actually see. You will go in your software and actually read through those information they have provided on the format painter. Format painter, for example, if I want to copy this style of I have applied here, I can actually click on format painter like this. And now if I want to paint, I can say let me type on this format paint. In order to apply the format you have actually applied on the previous one, you click on, you select the formatting you have applied, and then you go to you activate the format painter. Your mouse look like this. Do you see my mouse? Now you go on a text you want to actually apply it, and then you click just and drag like that. Now you have applied that format. Huh? Do you see there, or you are you are wondering on what this thing, why does it exist? Huh? This is actually Alex. I'm actually found a digital computer camp, and this is what we actually do. We enable you to actually understand basic computer understanding for all. Alright, digital and computer literacy for all. Thank you. This is actually Alex from Digital Computer Camp. Support this channel by actually liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video to our friends, and that's how we grow a community together. This channel is ours and is here to actually improve our lives. Huh? No, so now let's go to my cheat sheet. Now I have here a question that you can actually take a look, take a screenshot, and then we went ahead. We will continue with the next lesson. Now, welcome back. We are talking about inserting images tables, links, and shapes in Word processor or Microsoft Office Word. Now, in order for you to actually insert an image or a picture or anything, you use under the ribbon here, you have something called Insert tab. You click there, like that. It will bring you on these tools. Now, let me show you how you can actually insert a picture. A picture, you come here under these tools, you have something called Insert a Picture here. You click here, and then you can insert a picture from this PC. You can insert from stock image, and also you can insert from online pictures. Stock image, these are, you download the image from stock sites and then you install, and then you have online pictures on Google. Now I will install a picture. I will insert a picture from my computer. I will click here, this PC, and then the Windows Explorer window will pop up. Then I will insert a picture that I want to insert. For example, I can come here under downloads and insert any picture I want. For example, I can insert like example, for example, this picture like this, and I click insert. Now I have inserted this picture. Right? That's the way you get to insert a picture in Microsoft Word. Right? This is a picture that I have inserted. You see the way we insert this picture? That's the way you get to insert the picture in Microsoft Word. That's the picture. You see it? Now, let's talk about inserting tables in Microsoft Word. Tables are very, very important. You need to know how to actually insert tables in Microsoft Word. Tables have rows and columns. So, in order for you to insert anything in Microsoft Word, if you hear the term inserting, you go into the ribbon and you go to the tab called Insert. That's why you insert anything you see you have heard about inserting. Now here it is tables. If you click here, down here, you have something like this. You have tables. Now when you go like this, you'll be inserting number of rows and number of columns. For example, I have gone 2 columns. Then if I go 3, you'll see the number of columns actually increasing down below. 4, you see number of columns increasing. 5 columns, and then for example, I can go 2 rows or 3 or 4. Now I have this table. You see it down below. That is a table. You'll get to insert using Microsoft Office Word. And actually you can do many things with this software. After inserting, there is a new tab here opening called Table Design. You can design out your table the way you want. For example, you can click here and actually choose a preset that you want your table to look like. Or you can design the way you want. For example, like that. That's the way you get to insert a table. To insert a table, you come here under the Insert tab and then you insert a table. That's the way you get to insert a table. Now, how can you actually, and there is another way how to insert a table. You click here also, and you can actually draw a table with your hand, and then you can actually insert table by actually, if you click insert table, you will actually input number of columns and then number of rows. For example, I can put 3 columns and then 3, for example, 4 rows. 4 rows. Rows are vertical arrangement of the columns, vertical downwards, and then you can actually say out of it to content, out of it to window, and then you can do, in order to create a page that a table that fits with the content you want, you select this one and then you hit enter. That's the way you create a table. For example, this table, you can say to input text inside a table. You see the cursor blinking inside the table. Now you can type. For example, I can type something like students marks. Do you see this table out of it with content? Now it's just adjust, and then I can say, for example, something like maths, and I can say something like English. That's the way you get to insert a table with out of it, like that. And then here you can input the names. For example, I can say Alex, and then I can put maths. This guy is actually a topper in maths, and I can say 70%, and then English, this guy actually got 50. That's the way. And actually I can put something like Timothy. Timothy actually got 16 marks, and then actually got 55 in English. And then I can put like somebody like Jennifer. and then I can say this one got 15 marks, and I actually got 70 in English. Don't worry about those names, they are my siblings. So that is the way you get to insert a table, and you can actually format the table. We have many ways you can format the table. In order for you to format a table, for example, you can actually select the text inside, and actually you can go into a home tab, and actually you can bold. The way you usually bold, let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see very well. I want you to see, right, the way things happen, like that. And then you can change also the font family, everything you can do with this table. You can select, and then you can actually change the font family here. For example, I can put it Times New Roman or Arial Black. I have this font Arial Black, like that. That's the way you get to input content inside a table, create a table like that, and actually you can select this column like this, and actually you can input a background. For example, here you can put a background that you want. For example, you can put something like this, and you have a same table. It's a matter of creativity, all right? It's just something that you practice. Practice is very important. Create your table and actually practice, and I'll provide answers to the end of this module. That's the way of inserting a table. Let me go up. Now, let me talk about inserting links. Add clickable hyperlinks using insert tab. Then let me show you how. If you hear something inserting in Word, inserting in there, you go to insert tab. Come here, insert tab under the ribbon. Now, for example, if you want to insert something like a link, let me say, for example, Google. I want to insert a link for Google, like that. In order to insert a link, you select first this text, and then you go to insert, and then you go to get link, like that. After reaching there, for example, you want to input a link, not a document link. You click here, not a document link to your PC. No, you want to input a link to go outside. Let me input something, a link to. You can link even your document. That's the thing. You can actually link even Word document here, or you can link. You can place this document. You can actually create a new document. You can actually link a website or email address here now. Here in email address now, do you see the way it is? So now I can put something like Google, the link to actually google.com. Now I can actually hit enter, like that. And now this one is a link. If I convert this document to a PDF, now you can click this link and go to this website. And when I hover, do you see the link up there? https www.com.info. This one, this tooltip, that is actually a link. That's the way you get to actually create a link. And the link, you can actually create a link to even your document, to even everything. It's just a matter of practicing. Open Word, practice how to actually create links. For example, you can create a link like word cheat sheet. For example, you want people to click here to go to your cheat sheet. So another word cheat sheet, where you are now, cheat sheet, like that. Then you select, and then you go to link here, and then you can choose a document. For example, I can say I want people to go to document 1. You can relocate where you want. For example, you can click here on File Explorer and then go to your documents. For example, I can say my documents is on desktop or course dev here, and then I can say it is here, and then you can click OK, like that, and then you can okay. That this is now a link. If you hover around it, provide you a link now to actually click and go where that reference is. That's how to insert links in Word. Let me talk now on how to insert shapes in Word. Shapes insert also, it is here. Shapes, you click here. For example, you can insert a rectangle like that and draw just something simple. That's a shape. You can draw many things. Insert, then go here to shape. You can draw something like a circle, like that. You can do many things with this software. It's a matter of practicing and doing exercise that I will provide to the end of the tutorial. And then you can put anything, everything is here. You can actually try drawing. You just click on the shape. For example, I can click on this shape like that, and you have something like this. A cursor with it look like a plus. Now you just click and drag, and you have your shape. On this same shape, you can change the color. Inside this shape, you can change like this. Also, after drawing a shape, there is a tab which will come called shape format. Under this shape format, you can change the shape field. Field is the color inside the shape. For example, you can put a field like black. That is the color inside the shape field. And then you have shape outline. Is the outline of the shape. For example, you can put something like this or like that. That is the shape outline. All this you can do here. And also, if you want to add text inside the shape, you just click on the shape, right click, and then you can add text. For example, I can add text like rectangle, like that. That's the way you add text inside a shape. Alright, or what next? I think that's the thing you can actually do with actually a shape. With actually inserting the images, tables, links, and shapes. Alright, let's continue. Now here is actually a question for you. You can actually answer in the comment section. Now, welcome back. Let's talk about page layout and design. Page layout and design tools control the appearance of your document, alright? Something called margins and orientation. Margins and orientation. Margin is actually the non-printable area on your page. For example, let me zoom out to this document. Do you see on this document? On the left here, these are non-printable areas on the document. Printer can't print anything here. That is actually called a margin. And then orientation. This one is actually portrait orientation. The portrait meaning the vertical distance is longer than the horizontal distance. And then we have landscape. Landscape, the horizontal distance is more compared to the vertical. It's just the opposite of portrait. Huh? And then we have something called page size and columns. And then we have something called headers and footers and page numbers. Let me show you these things practically. Let me zoom in a little bit. So, margins and orientations. Margins. If you come here under page design, here design, on this ribbon under the tab of layout, not design, page layout. It can be called layout or page layout. Have something called margins here. Margins. Normal meaning you have an unprintable area of 1 inch all around the page. Have narrow, and all this you can actually control here. Alright, you can control the margins here. Also, you can customize. You can click customize, and you can actually input your measurement yourself. And then you have something called orientation. You can change the document to landscape like this. Landscape, you see the way you see here the preview. And then you have portrait. Portrait, see the preview. The preview, portrait, the vertical distance is longer compared to the horizontal. Landscape, the vertical distance is smaller compared to the horizontal. That is actually different. And actually, that's the way. And you can actually click OK to convert your document to actually a portrait, a landscape. Let me show you this. This is now a landscape. Oh. Do you see? This is a landscape document. It's not a portrait. Let me convert it to now portrait. Orientation here. Now we're going to convert it to portrait. That is portrait, orientation, landscape. That is the landscape orientation of your page. Let me convert to portrait. That's the way. Then we have something called size. Size, for example, we have letter. We have A4. A4 is the standard size that you can actually use. For example, that's A4. And then we have something like many orientation here. And also you can more paper sizes that you yourself you can actually input here. You can actually input and customize the document the way you want. That is the way. This is actually landscape orientation. This is actually portrait orientation, margin 1 inch, and actually the size of the document, it is actually A4, right? And then let me see another thing. Page size I have told you about is this one is A4. You can customize here under the layout or page layout. Then we have something called columns. 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 It is something like let me use this paragraph down here. Columns. If you want to make this thing a column, you click it and then you select here. Now you can have two columns. For example, that you select the paragraph first, and then you can click like that. Now you have two columns. You just split your text into two, one, two columns. That's the way. You have two columns. Let me zoom in. Zoom in a little bit. This is now two columns. Two columns. It was like this previously. Now it is two. You come here at a column. You can say two, and you have two columns. Or you can just come say three. You have three columns. That's the way you actually control the columns. Control Z a little bit like that. In order to input a column, select your text first, then go to columns, for example 2, or you can go to columns and actually more columns option. Click there, and actually you can put something like line between the text, and actually you can actually click, and also you can control the spacing, the space between those columns. Number of columns, it is 2, and then you have width and spacing. Width is this one, spacing is this one, 0.5 inches. You can actually reduce it or increase it. You can reduce it, you can increase it. You see on the preview here, watch here while I'm increasing. You see I'm actually reducing it, reducing the space like that. Also you can increase, for example 0.5. You hit up here like that to 5. That's the way. And actually you can input. Okay, you will get somebody actually drawing this thing, and it's actually a feature for columns. Don't draw with shapes. This is actually inputted under columns. You don't draw. That's the way how to actually input columns. And then you have headers, footers, and page numbers. To input, to insert headers, page footers, and page numbers. Let me zoom in so that a header is supposed to be on the top of the document. A footer is supposed to be on the bottom of the page. Footer is supposed to be down here. Header is supposed to be on the top of the page. And then you have something called page numbers. Page numbers you can input anywhere. You can input either on the top and either on the bottom. Let me show you how to actually input a header or insert. You go to insert, and then you go to somewhere called header. It is here. You click there. After clicking there, it will give you the preview, built-in preview or presets. This one, you can actually input a footer here, where the template is here. 3 footers, 1 like that, and actually you can do something like that. And also how you can scroll here the navigation bar to see more footers, more headers. You can see more headers. You can even more headers from office.com. You can edit header. You can actually remove header. For example, I can actually say, for example, I want to input a header like this one. You just click like that. Let me click away. Yeah? I didn't want to put that one. Now you go header. I want to put this one. You click like that, and then I can say digital computer camp, for example. This is our header. Digital computer camp. This is actually camp. And then you can close the header or footer like that. Now you have this text here. Let me zoom in. This one is now a header. Digital computer camp. This one is a header. Now if I go down, you see it have actually replicated itself without you typing in each page. Yeah, it is there on that page. It is here also. Digital computer camp. It is here. That's the way you actually get to create a header. Let me show you how to insert a footer. Footer is the text below the page margin. Now let's say, for example, this one is a footer, or this one. You can put, you will see this preset and actually do whatever you want. For example, I can go, that's the first one, and I can say digital computer camp making, for example, learning digital skills possible for all. So, yeah, for all like that. Actually you have done, and close the footer up or click away from the header like that. Now you have your footer. This is the footer, that is the footer, and this footer you can actually even format the way you want. You can change the font size, font family, everything. For example, if you want to go to this header, you just double click and you are in, and then you can select it, go home, change the font family here. For example, I can change to Times New Roman, and I can actually make it bold, and I can increase the size, for example, to 14. All this, and actually you can click just away or come here to foot and head and close it. You have it something like that. That's the way you get to need to format this header. Let me show you footer. You can actually do the same thing like that. Come here, change the font family to Times New Roman 14, for example, bold. Then go to headers and footer, close. Done. Done. You have it like that. You see, you have formatted header, footer, done. And actually you can do many things on customizing it. Then you have something called page numbers. Page numbers. How can you insert page numbers? Same way. Go to insert page numbers. It is here, and you can actually top of the page, for example, you can put a page number on the top of the page, bottom of the page, and also you can actually page margins. When you put a page number on the page margin, you can on a current position, and also format page numbers, remove page numbers. All these things you need just to go one by one, look at them, and then practice is what I'm saying. For example, you can click, for example, the first one, and come here on this preset and click like that. Now you have page number 1, and then you can close it like that. That's page number 1. If you scroll down, have page number 2. You don't type 1 2 3. It just how to put for you. You just click insert and then done. Page number 3. That's the way. That is the way of actually putting footers, headers, page numbers, and many more. Inserting columns, orientation of the page. I think we have talked about more things on this tutorial, on this lesson. And this is a very complex lesson. You see, small lesson. You see this lesson, the way you actually compress it. It's something that just compress the knowledge. You see this one, small knowledge, compressed one. And we have talked many things. We'll talk about headers, footers, and page numbers. In Word, you go to layout, margins, orientation, and size. In this one, it's just an exercise for you. This one, you go and practice. I will provide a cheat sheet. In Google Docs, go to File, and then go to Page Setup, and insert, and then you insert a header and page number. That is actually in Google Docs. You practice this one. This one is your exercise, and you'll open Google Docs on the web browser and do it. That is actually all about this lesson 2.6. Thank you. Let's move on. And here's the cheat sheet that we are actually using, and it has a question here, right? Here's a question number 16. Take a look, answer it, and let's move on. Now, welcome back. Let's talk about using spell check and word count in word processor, right? Spell checks underlines errors and suggest corrections. You can go to Word and move on to review and spell and grammar checker. Even in Google Docs, you'll actually practice that one. Go to tools, spelling and grammar checker. Word count, view total number of words and pages. And in Google Docs, go to tools and then word count. In Word here, you can go to bottom status bar on the review tab. Let me show you immediately here. This one is called a bottom status bar. This one is actually page 1 of 3. We have 159 words. That's actually the bottom bar review of the review tab. That is actually in Word. Now, let me type something here very fancy. For example, I can say like I am a graphic. Sorry, a little bit. For example, I'm a graphic. Let me type this graphic badly. What am I doing? Let me say fig. I have something called autocorrecting this computer. I want to show you something. Like, let me type a word in like a language like Swahili. If you don't understand it, let me type it. I'm a graphic designer na ninaunda logo. That's why I want this in any word document to actually underline the way like this, because it doesn't understand this language. All right. So, for example, spell check underlines errors and suggests correction. For example, na, this is a Swahili word. If I right click with the mouse, you see it will suggest an, on, no. That is actually autocorrecting, doing its work. But this one is a language, because it doesn't understand this language. Nina, do Nina. It actually provide Nina. It's supposed to be in capital. That's good. That is actually correction that you can do. And Unda, for example, it undo under it didn't recognize that word, but Nina it recognized. But and this one na and no nab none. You see, and actually you can do that one by right clicking. But if you want to remove all these underlines at once, you go just to review here, and then you can go to spelling and grammar check. It is here. If you click like there, and then you have something like this, and you can actually this one have sound nowadays. If let me click.
I am a graphic designer. I am a graphic designer.
You see this word?
I am a graphic designer.
This is actually Word 2020. This is Microsoft Office Word 2021. It has this feature of actual reading. It's very good.
I am a graphic designer.
You see, it recognizes English. And then if you want to actually do it, you can ignore once, you can ignore all, and do everything. For example, I can ignore all or once. It ignores everything at once, and you can close this proofreading window. And that's the way you get to ignore everything, those words and those underlines will not be there. That's actually how to do spelling and grammar checker in word processor. Alright, are we together till there, or you are floating? Tell me if you are enjoying and understanding this course, alright, in the comment section. And here's actually a question for you that you can actually answer. Now, welcome back. Let's talk about sharing and collaborating. This one, it is actually, it enables you to actually track changes and comments. Sharing, if you're working as a team or as an organization, sharing is very, very important. And collaboration. Collaborating, you work together, for example, in a one project, for example, in a Word document, or you want to share your document to your team members. That's actually the purpose of sharing. And sharing, you need to know how to actually share. For example, in word processor, for example, this is word processor. As you can see on the top of this word document here on top, this is actually the name of the here. You see here, this is my name, meaning I have account with Microsoft. That this is actually the account with my Microsoft. This is my Microsoft account. Now, this one enables me, if I have internet connection, enable me to actually save this document on the cloud, and I can share with people. So, if I'm here, you go to actually file in order for you to share your document in Word process. You go to file, and then you share. You will have something like a share button here. You click share like that, and actually you can share with the people. You can add them, people who have this Microsoft account, and you can actually share as an email, and then you can actually create a PDF and share the link. Create a PDF and then you share the link. You can actually present online, and actually you can post to a blog. That's the way. To share with the people, save your document to OneDrive location. OneDrive is the storage allocated by Microsoft on the cloud. And actually step 2, you can share your document. We will do this later. After actually finishing saving that document, you can now share with your people and save to the cloud like this. You click this button to share on the cloud. And in this thing, you can actually do the same thing on Google Docs. Go on Google Docs. This is actually your assignment. Click where there is a button called share button, and then you can add people or link or links. All right, don't worry. All right, now then you can actually track changes or what. If you are working as a team or as a collaboration or organization, you can actually track changes. For example, review and track changes. Suggesting mods, you have docs, edits appear as suggestions. If you are an admin, it just sees where people have actually edit, and actually you as an admin, you can actually suggest those content or approve it. And then comments, people can actually add remarks or feedback in margins of each document. About sharing and collaboration, I'm looking forward of having a future tutorial with you and having two as a team. We actually create a document and collaborate with you online. I can't do it myself online here. I need to have multiple people like 2 or 3 so that I can teach you this thing practically. But this is just a basic and a very good cheat sheet that will guide you. This one I'll provide you on the Word cheat sheet that you can actually go through and actually follow along. where it contains information, not big, that you can actually read within 2 seconds, within 1 minute. This one, small content. Now, let's have a question for you. This is actually a question. I love giving questions so that you can actually brainstorm. Don't be sleeping while I'm talking here. That is actually a question that you can take a look. Now, welcome back. Let's talk about printing and exporting PDF. Printing. You can't learn something like word processor without know how to actually print a document. You need to know how to actually print and export documents in different formats. Alright, that is actually a primary thing you need to actually consider knowing. You can actually print or export document in different formats. For example, in Microsoft Office Word, you can go to File and then click Print and or Control P. That's actually a shortcut. You can hit Control P on your keyboard. Or you can go to File and then Save As and save as a PDF to export. And also you can go to informal. For example, if you are working on Google Docs, you can go to File and then Print, or you can go to File, Download, and then download as a PDF document. Practice this one. This one is your exercise. Alright, this one is your exercise. Take a look, take a tour on that one. Let me show you how to do this one here on Microsoft Office Word. In order for you to actually print, come here on File, then you have something like Print somewhere. This one, you click there and you will have a document preview like this. This is actually a document window preview. This is how this document it will look when you print it. Right, that's the way it will look like this. For example, this one is page 1. Let me zoom in for you to actually see. That is a page. This is the way it will be looking like when you print it. And then you can click print number of copies, and then you have printer. If you have connected your printer, you will click here and select the printer you want to print. I haven't connected yet any printer here. And then you can actually settings, print all pages, the whole thing, or you can just click on the document down below and you can print current page, just this page. You can do all these settings here. Print old pages, print even pages only, print old pages. For example, old pages will start with 1, 3, and then go 5, like that. That is the jumps. Even it will start with number 2, 4, 6, like that. It's actually even and old pages. That's the way. And then you can specify the number of pages here, and then you can print one-sided, only print one-sided, or do like this. You can print if your printer can print on both sides. It depends with your type of computer. And then collated printed orientation, you can actually change the orientation here. You can actually say print on landscape. You right click, you see the pages you have to change automatic to landscape. You can actually control it here, don't worry. Or you just bring it to portrait, the way you have been working. And also you can change the orientation here to, for example, A4 if you are using A4 paper. And then you can actually normal page margins, you can control the margins, non-printable areas on your document here. All these things are done on the printer. And then you have something 1 page per sheet, 2 page per sheet, everything. If you want to compress, for example, you can say 2 page per sheet, like that. Everything you can do, or 1 page per sheet. That is all about printing. Printing, these are presets you made, and then you click print here. That's the way. Are we together? That's the way. And actually saving a document, for example, as a PDF, you come to File, then you can go to Save As here. Then you can choose your location of your file. For example, I want to save it, for example, in Documents. I can click here on Documents, and then after it opens, and now we have something called, you see on this window, File Explorer window, on top here, you have a logo of Word, and then you have say Save As. And then here down below you have your file name, you can name here, and then save as type. Save as type, this one is a Word document. Now you can click drop down menu and you can actually save it as a PDF. You can click PDF like that and actually save as a PDF. For example, this one is lesson 2, you can rename, you can click on it inside and actually backspace and rename, and then you can actually save. That's the way you save as a PDF. Let it open as a PDF. You see this now is a PDF opening in my Adobe Acrobat. This is now a PDF that I've been working with you. This one is a PDF that I have been working with you, showing you how to actually insert images, everything. Alright, what is happening? Is it scrolling? What is the matter? That's the way. Don't worry about this thing. That's the way. All this we have been doing with you. Alright, let me go back to my document. That's the way of actually printing and exporting PDFs. Here's a question number 19 that you can actually answer on the comment section or answer on yourself. How do you save a Google Doc or as a PDF? How do you save as a PDF? File, then go to share, file, then download, then PDF, then edit, print, tools, then export. Can I steal for you an exam? Can I steal for you an exam there? No. Don't want to steal for you an exam. Since you have here practical exercise for module 2 that you can actually take a tour. Let me take a screenshot there. Take a screenshot, post the video, then take a screenshot. And actually, this concludes the end of actually word processor. Thank you a lot for actually taking this course till here. Let me scroll you for you actually take another question after collaboration. After collaboration, now take a screenshot also there. Those are questions you can actually take a look on. Now, what next after this course? This one is actually module. This one is actually video number 3 on our series of digital and computer literacy. Now, next we'll be talking about Excel. We'll be talking about Excel, our Google Slides, and then we will conclude by actually knowing how to actually create presentation. We'll be talking about PowerPoint. That's the way. Thank you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, put a comment on the comment section. I would love to hear from you.